BEGALAN in Banyumasan wedding traditions, origins, properties, implementation and meaning. BEGALAN is known as a form of Banyumasan culture which is often found in a local wedding procession. The BEGALAN tradition is a procession in the form of a show that was originally performed at the marriage of the first child. The BEGALAN tradition is one of the rituals in traditional Javanese wedding ceremonies in the Banyumas area which is unique and cannot be found in other areas. Although now many couples use modern or mixed concepts, the BEGALAN tradition is still often found at weddings today. The origins of the BEGALAN tradition. Reporting from the Indonesian Ministry of Finance website, the term BEGALAN comes from the word begal or robbery. It is said that the BEGALAN tradition was first introduced to the public in 1850 or during the reign of the region of Banyumas 14, Raden Adipati Jokerwungaro. It is said that the BEGALAN tradition began with the journey of Adipati Wirasaba, who wanted to marry the daughter of the Duke of Banyumas. Adipati Wirasaba then departed with various items for the wedding with his entourage. However, while passing through an area called Sokawira, the Duke was blocked by robbers who were after the goods they were carrying. The battle was unavoidable, which the result was won by the Duke of Wirasaba's entourage. The group then continued their journey, and the wedding ceremony was able to take place smoothly. The story of Adipati Sokawira, who was confronted by the robbers, is part of the story of the robbers by inserting advice for the bride and groom as provisions in living married life. Property in BEGALAN show. In a BEGALAN show, there are two characters who will play roles. The protagonist is symbolized by the figure of Gunarika, while the character of the robber or thug in the BEGALAN tradition is named Rekaguna. The properties used include a pair of traditional Banyumas clothes with basic colors of black, white, red and blue with simple makeup. The items that Gunarika brought were in the form of a pole containing a crater or brenong braid. Brenong braid is a pole containing various kitchen utensils such as a leer or fan, sawur, steamed, kekab, padarangan, laya, mutu, iris, as well as rice and secondary crops. While the Rekaguna character will carry a wooden sword or weapon called Wlira. Execution of begging. BEGALAN is carried out as one of the processions in a series of Banyumas weddings. The implementation is carried out after the marriage contract, and can adjust to the schedule of events. BEGALAN begins with the appearance of the figures Gunarika and Rekaguna who enter the wedding venue. The robbery scene begins by telling the story of Adipati Wirasaba, who is confronted by the robbers. Gunarika, who was confronted by Rekaguna, then accepted the challenge and the two then performed a short battle dance. After that, the two then explained the purpose of the show and conveyed the message of marriage in a humorous style. Usually the BEGALAN show ends by allowing the guests or the audience to fight over the goods in the pier. Meaning in Ubaramp BEGALAN. Launching from various sources, the goods brought by Gunarika figures in the BEGALAN show are symbols that will be used to explain a marriage advice, namely 1. Pikulan or Wangkring means husband and wife must support all needs and burdens sincerely and in accordance with their own strengths, not the strengths of others. 2. A leer, fan, has a double meaning, namely for a wind source that is useful for cooling rice and lighting a stove. The meaning of a leer in BEGALAN is advice to cool the atmosphere and not to inflame others. 3. Sawur has a meaning so that domestic life is not lived carelessly in order to be able to live side by side with the environment. 4. Irig or filter means if the bride and groom must be able to filter and be careful in living life. 5. Kukusan has a philosophy of sedular popit limo panser about spiritual awareness. In addition, there is also a meaning that the bride and groom must deal with the heat of life's turmoil patiently and only take the good side to get a pleasure in life. 6. Kekab or pottery covering the rice cooker means that the couple has to cover each other's disgrace. 7. Padarangan or Kendall holds a message for the wife to be wise in saving and utilizing the sustenance given by her husband and being able to separate between needs and desires. 8. Laya or characteristic means a place where various flavors are mixed, like people talk about a spicy partner like chili, which can be accommodated properly, it will still taste good. 9. Mutu or Yulakan keeps a message so that the bride and groom can solve all problems no matter how hard they are so that they can be resolved and achieve the pleasures of life. 10. Iris means that someone who is married must be able to cultivate feelings so that it can be a lesson for the growth of maturity. 11. Rice means prosperity and fulfillment of daily needs, as well as the nature of getting higher and lower. 12. Palawiya, which consists of nutmeg gumantang and nutmeg kapendhem, means not to depend on other people for life, and must be able to harbor pain and not hold grudges.